annual IHSAA Football Championships presented by the Indianapolis Colts. It was a fun weekend. There were some record-setting games, and frankly, I think in 5 of our 6 championships, we had really, really solid football.
We did, Bob, and we extend our congratulations to all 12 schools that participated to get to the state finals. Thank our sponsors, the Indianapolis Colts, and then everybody at Lucas Oil Stadium. Just a great tournament. Attendance was up about 7,000 from the previous year. As you mentioned, some record-setting games, great competition, great coaching, student-athletes playing hard, and all in all, a very nice weekend for the association.
Yeah, we come into these, and we always look at it from a standpoint of, you're good to get to this point. The game should be good, but different competition, different players, different circumstances. Sometimes we don't get a great number of good matchups, but this particular weekend, like I said, we had a quadruple overtime, a record setter. We had games go down to the end. We had one possession types of games in most of the games we played, which, in addition to the attendance record, I just think this was as good a show as we've had in a while.
I agree with you, Bob. And I thought, other than the 1A game, we had some really competitive games. We had some really, really interesting matchups. The game, West Lafayette game, was a really fun game for me to watch because it was like the last team to have the ball was going to win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And when West Lafayette scored with under a minute, I turned to some of our student advisory kids and I said, I think that's too much time. I'm not sure that they can stop Evansville. And one more play, I don't think they would have.
I think you're 100% right. And what the other thing, we talked about it last week. We have a couple of new teams, a couple of teams that never been there. A couple of teams that hadn't been there in a while, but you brought up a great point. The West Lafayette Memorial game was literally one of those back and forth games. Nearly 90 points scored in this game, over 90 points scored in the game. And then on the other end, in the 4A game, which people are still talking about, and they should, quite frankly, in the 4A championship, Dwenger and Evansville Central go scoreless through regulation and the first overtime, and the first time ever you've had a game in the championship to go past 2 overtimes, which results in a 4 overtime win for Bishop Dwenger.
Well, I thought it was really interesting. You got 2 schools from virtually opposite ends of the state that were almost identically matched. Mm-hmm. They played hard. They defended each other. It was hard to score the ball, and we finally got a victory for Dwenger at the end, but it was a really fun game to watch as well, but just the opposite of the West Lafayette game.
We've never had a situation like Warren Central has had in this calendar year, Commissioner. Undefeated football championship this year, undefeated boys basketball championship last year, girls championship, all in calendar year 2018. It is a phenomenal accomplishment for the Warren Central Warriors.
It really is, and their administration, their coaching staffs need to be congratulated for what they do with those young people. They have them at a very high level right now, and a lot of positive energy on the east side of Indianapolis, and congratulate Warren Central and their whole community for what they've done in basketball and football.
Boys and girls basketball now in full swing. We say this, it will not be long before we're having a pairing show in girls basketball, as crazy as all of this is.
You're right. It's just like we get into fall. We talk about how quick it goes. Well, the winter goes just as fast because we have this little holiday break here in December coming up, and people kind of go to these tournaments and so forth. And once we get past the first of the year, now all of a sudden we're looking at pairing shows and tournament draw and ready to start playing all these tournaments. And in addition to our basketball programs, we've got swimming going on, we've got gymnastics going on, we've got wrestling going on. And so it's a good time for high school kids and a good time for our fan base.
He's the commissioner of the IHSAA, Bobby Cox. This is our weekly conversation about all things IHSAA. Commissioner, it's been great talking to you. I look forward to our conversation next week.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent. Like all of us, the parents of high school athletes tend to protect their children from adversity, or they overly involve themselves by advocating for their success. But when they do, they're negating the value of participating in high school sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent, but be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NCAA, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to IHSAA basketball here on Indiana SRN. I'm Thad Van Devener. Tonight, a big contest featuring two 2-0 teams. The Covenant Christian Warriors here at home facing the North Putnam Cougars. Covenant Christian, the Warrior Fieldhouse, it's been hot lately. Some good vibes in here. On Saturday night, Covenant Christian takes down 4A and conference opponent Roncalli at the buzzer with a shot by Cameron Schurig. And then last night on the ladies' side, Covenant Christian takes down Heritage Christian for the first time in school history. Another huge conference win for the Warriors. Now I'm going to send it up top to my partner, John Herrick. But first, John, before I come up there, I'm going to hop in this layup line and get a couple jumpers in. Then I'll meet you up there.
There you go. You have to make one first before you come up here. So he could be down there a while. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this webcast on Indiana SRN. We've got a great game coming up tonight. North Putnam and Covenant Christian. And just moments ago, the winning continues for this Covenant Christian basketball program. The Covenant Christian boys in the JV matchup beat North Putnam 54-45, just adding to that great atmosphere that my partner Thad Van Devener talked about. Good evening, everybody, on this great Wednesday night. Welcome into Covenant Christian High School for another rendition of high school basketball on Indiana SRN, where you are always in the game. Our pregame show brought to you by Corin Homes. Corin's manufactured homes since 1955. Give them a call, 1-800-624-9399. That is 1-800-624-9399. That is Corin Homes. So both these teams, 2-0. North Putnam with 2 wins coming in. Their most recent one, a thriller over big rival South Putnam, 44-40 in overtime. And as Thad mentioned, Covenant Christian with a huge win in their last game over Roncalli, 61-59. Cameron Schurig coming up big with the last shot that was knocked down with 2 seconds to go. Roncalli could not get a shot off, and that was the game. So Thad, this is a game in December, but this kind of has like a feel to it where it could feel like a game in maybe February or March, depending on how well it's played tonight, which I think it'll be a pretty well-played game. Yeah,
it kind of feels like an early momentum type game. You got two teams come in, they've got 2 wins, they're feeling good about themselves. There's something about getting to 3-0 rather than 2-1. It doesn't seem like that big of a difference, but especially for Covenant Christian, a young squad. We talked about it before we came on. Only 2 seniors on the roster. Neither of those guys start for them. So for the Warriors to get hot early in this season would be key for them. And then North Putnam, you already beat your rival in South Putnam that you talked about. You've got a pretty tough slate coming up because you've got Sullivan and Park Heritage coming up later in the week. Pretty busy week for them, 3 games in 1 week. So you kind of want to get to 3-0 before you go face the Golden Arrows and the newly instituted Park Heritage in their first year as a high school. So I think it's pretty key. And then also, could be a sectional opponent.
Yeah.
Always feels good to beat those guys in the regular season, give you that confidence if you see them again in the tournament.
Yeah, and no question about that. Well, it was for them, too, for Covenant Christian, the program's first Circle City Conference win with that win over Roncalli, 61-59. We mentioned Cameron Schurig's heroics late, 13 points, but we got to mention that junior Noah Hedrick, he went on a tear in that game, leading them in scoring with 20 points. And first, let's talk about him individually and what he's meant to Covenant so far just through these first 2 games.
Well, I was here on Saturday night. The place was electric for that conference game. It was awesome in here, and like you mentioned, Schurig with the shot at the buzzer, nonetheless, it kind of sent this place into a crazy fit for a second. But Noah Hedrick was the key to that game for them. Covenant went into halftime with a 10-point lead, and that was all on the shoulders of Noah Hedrick in the second quarter. He had 15 points just in the second stanza alone. He was unstoppable for them. And the other thing that he does for this young squad, he's very versatile. He's got size at 6'4", but he can handle the ball. He can guard a guy in the post. He can guard on the perimeter. And with their full court press, he's a tool that Coach Flatt can really utilize in a lot of different assets, in a lot of different areas of the game.
Well, and also I think one of the things we have to, you did their second game, and I did Covenant Christian's very first game of the year against Bethesda Christian. Talked to Coach Flatt before that game, and he said one of the biggest things he loved about his team in the offseason, which I think is showing so far, is their work ethic, their commitment to the defensive side of the ball, and their willingness to put constant pressure on the opponent. It definitely worked well against Bethesda Christian. We saw them come out with a full court press in that game. And, yeah, they only beat Roncalli by 2, but I think you would admit the press really played a big role in that win on Saturday.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Flatt after the game, and so did my partner Sean Kroll on Saturday night. And I've been watching Covenant Christian now for 5 seasons since I've been with Indiana SRN. Saturday night was the best defense I've ever seen Coach Flatt's team ever play. That's no knock on the previous teams, but Saturday night was very impressive to me because of that constant pressure coming at you in waves. And they went 12 guys deep on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So to just keep bringing fresh bodies, fresh attacking guys over and over, and they made so much offense off of their defense on Saturday night, forcing Roncalli into those turnovers. And to your point, they kept bringing, kept coming. They wore Roncalli down, and that was the difference in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point to make there. And in that first game against Bethesda Christian, they played every single player. And I think they even played a guy or two off the JV roster.
Why not?
I mean, yeah, he had some more experience in the game before it. Get him out there again if you need to. What do you think maybe psychologically, too? This is kind of I wouldn't say it's an extremely long drive for North Putnam, but it's a little bit of a hike. You're kind of over there in Roachdale. You're not exactly down the street from here. You got to come in here on a school night. You're not going to get back until about maybe 10 or so. And, anything to worry about there from a trip standpoint psychologically?
First of all, that's beautiful Roachdale. Okay?
Yes, yeah.
Let's get that straight.
Okay.
All the people over there. No, I'm kidding. But it is a little bit of a drive. I think sometimes psychologically for a high school kid, especially coming from North Putnam, like it's not that far away, but you got to drive all the way to Indianapolis. It just seems like it's an extra little addition.
Right.
You've got more traffic. There's more people. Yada yada yada. So I do think that's a little bit to it. The other thing for North Putnam that I would worry about if I'm Coach McCarp is you've got 3 games this week. This is Wednesday night, and then you've got a couple of big ones coming up. On Friday night, you even got a conference game against Sullivan. You got to get your kids focused on one game at a time, and sometimes that's hard for a high school kid, especially on a midweek game, kind of an off day on a Wednesday. Typically the boys don't play on Wednesday nights. So I think that's the key for him. He's got to make sure he can get his guys to focus just on tonight before they start thinking about a big weekend with Sullivan and Park Heritage coming up.
Well, one thing I want to talk about with Covenant Christian here, Thad, is that the coach's son, Trey Flatt, as a freshman, had a stellar year. I believe he averaged over 20 points a game. Through the first 2 games, he's only averaging 5. He's playing very good defense, but he's getting a lot more help this year than I don't think got as much from the year before. And I think that's maybe taken some pressure off of him, and I think some folks are wondering, is there something wrong with him? I don't think there is. I think he's just getting a lot of help, and it's showing.
He was in a little bit of foul trouble on Saturday night, but that's where his teammates came in to help him out. But the other thing, too, is they've got 3, 4, sometimes 5 guys on the floor that can handle the ball. It's not everything is up to Trey Flatt to initiate the offense, get everyone involved, score baskets himself. He can rely on Cameron Shurey. He can rely on Ben Bradley. Like we talked about, Noah Hedrick took off for about an 8-minute stretch on Saturday night and just carried the team. So you've got other guys you can rely on, not to mention just Gus Chinkanwa off the bench, very reliable guy who can handle the basketball as well. You've got a lot of other guys. So if you're a Trey Flatt, not all up to you. Get into the flow of the offense and just be a member of the team rather than trying to be a one-man show to get everyone involved.
Well, the guy that is a big part of the show for the North Putnam Cougars is Andrew Pickle, a 6'6 senior. And holy cow, I know it's just through 2 games, Thad, but he is putting up some insane numbers. 22 points a game, 14 rebounds, and, yes, he's going to need some help tonight, but that's a guy that Covenant Christian's really going to have to pay very close attention to.
It is early, but 22 points and 14 rebounds, that's some monster stuff for a high school kid. And you think about those 22 points, his team's only averaging 51 points a game. I know they were kind of having a slugfest against South Putnam, their rival. They won that game 44-40 in overtime. Yeah. They needed overtime to get to 44, so you kind of get the picture of what that game was like. But if you're averaging 22 points and your team's only averaging 51, you know that you're the cog that kind of makes that whole thing go. So for Fickle, it's going to be a tough matchup for Covenant. Obviously, he's got them with size down low. That's where that full court pressure is going to come in hand for Covenant Christian. If they can put that pressure on the backcourt of North Putnam, get the ball out of their hands and force those turnovers, before they can get it down low to Pickle, I like their chances.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. A lot of the other guys on the team, they've got Evan Davis and James Duncan averaging right around 6. Chris Murray's another senior there. He's averaging about 8. And total opposite story, Thad, for North Putnam. I mean, you mentioned Covenant Christian. They're going to lose 2 seniors who aren't really part of the key cogs in the wheel. But for North Putnam, this is a team that's going to lose a lot of key seniors off of the team from this year. So they're kind of, I don't want to say going to be starting over next year, but they're going to have a long way to go after this season.
They've got 7 seniors on the roster. They're going to start 4 seniors tonight along with a freshman.
Yep.
But 4 seniors in there, like you said, the exact opposite of what Covenant's going to roll out there tonight. And for North Putnam, their team consistently have been solid but not overwhelming, not only in the regular season but also in the tournament. They kind of always enter the sectional, or have been of late, kind of maybe a sleeper pick of sorts, if you will. Now, I say that knowing that Cloverdale's been over there. They had a couple guys come through, Jalen Moore and Cooper Neese. Those guys were kind of good. So I don't want to take anything away from North Putnam, but this kind of seems like the year that they've been building up to, at least for sectional play. They're going to match up well with Monrovia. Differing styles here with Covenant Christian. When you look at sectional 44, this is kind of the year that they've been building towards, is to get this group of seniors here. A very good, strong regular season. Try to get yourself a conference championship, but make a run when you get to March.
You're listening to the Corn Homes pregame show and watching it as well on our Indiana SRN webcast. Corn's manufactured homes since 1955. Give them a call, 1-800-624-9399. That's Corn Homes, 1-800-624-9399. I'm John Herrick along with Thad Van Devener. I always love, as our wonderful crew here zooms in on the conversation between North Putnam coach Colin McCart and Covenant Christian coach Scott Flatt. What do you think coaches talk about right there in these conversations? I mean, they're obviously not going to give each other anything that they can use. What do you talk about? What you taught at school that day? How the ride was coming over here?
Yeah.
What do you talk about?
What's going on in Roachdale? How are things over here on the west side of Indianapolis? Yada, yada, yada. I think a lot of times coaches just like to talk to other coaches.
Yeah.
You can talk about like opponents. I know it's early in the season, so
how was your Thanksgiving?
These guys haven't had that yet, but especially when you get later in the year, or if it's a sectional team or a conference team, you might be like, hey, you guys went to South Putnam, or hey, you guys saw Monrovia last week. Like, what was going on there? You know what I mean? Just kind of. You got to pick the brain just a little bit. You're not going to give up a lot. And you don't really need to give up a lot in this day and age. Everyone's got their stats on Max Preps. You're hyping up the Max Preps app to me.
I was.
I got to get on there. I didn't even know it existed. I'm super excited to download that when I get home. But then, you've got Huddle or whatever everyone's using.
Coaches love Huddle.
You can see so much more than you used to now. I'm so old. I am so old, John, that I can still remember when I was in high school, which that was only in 2002. I'm so old that I still remember we would tape our games, and our coach on Friday nights sometimes after our game would have to go drive to meet another coach so they could trade tapes because everything was still on VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Now everything's just online, and everyone sees everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, and also on Max Preps now, that website is advanced to the point where you can go online and just watch video of players and teams now. Where if you're like, hey, I want to see the team play, and maybe you don't have Huddle or the team didn't send you their film on Huddle, Max Preps has that now too.
Yeah.
The internet is crazy in terms of preparation for coaches now.
Which really means there is no excuse for a coach to be blindsided by a move another coach makes.
Yeah.
All of it is there. I'm not going to blame anyone in this game. I'm pretty sure Coach Flatt and Coach McCart are going to be prepared. I'm just, in general terms, you should not be surprised anymore.
Well, but you know what? No matter what you're ready for, it all comes down to kids making plays. So that's just that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. We're going to take a look at Thad, I know you've probably relived this a lot from Saturday night, the last second shot that was made to beat Roncalli. But it was so good, and it's such must-see theater that we're going to watch it again here in just a moment. But here's the last play. Take me through what you think's happening here.
Well, if you watch this play again, we talked to Cameron Schurig after the game, and we asked him, was that the play that was set up for you to get that shot? And he said, no, actually, he was the screener on that play. Schurig actually sets the down screen Both defenders go after Fulbright. He just pops out and catches it right there at 17 feet. That, like you just said, it's about kids making plays.
Yeah.
You know, he runs the play properly. He sets the down screen. The only reason that play works for him to get an open shot is because he set a good screen. So both defenders from Roncalli go after Fulbright because he was ducking right to the rim. Schurig says, hey, I'll go to the open spot. Everyone's watching NFL football right now. What do you do when they're playing zone defense? You run to the open spot in the field, right?
Yes.
Cameron Schurig says, let me run to the open spot in the floor. It's right there at 17 feet. Nice job by Flatt to see him right there. And the kid knocks it in. Kids making plays, and that's what Cameron Schurig did right there.
Well, you know, and I also played basketball a time or two in my life, and I always remembered how if you were a shooter, you kind of felt disrespected if someone doubled off of you to leave you open to go guard someone else. And that was your opportunity to kind of stick it to him. Go, okay, you want to double off me? I'll make you pay right here.
You're talking to a guy here, John, who made his career off of only making open shots, okay? That was literally the only reason I was on.
And that career lasted a long time, didn't it?
That was the only reason I ever played in a game is because I could make open shots. I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I shot over 50% from three my senior year, and all it was throw it in the post, they double, throw it to Thad if he's open, or I had two really good point guards at the time at Shakamak High. They dribble into the paint, everyone converges into the middle, you throw it out to Thad, and he's going to make an open shot. That was my career, John. That was it. Don't dribble it, maybe play a little bit of defense, and make some threes, okay? That's it.
We are live at Andrew Smith Court, Covenant Christian High School. Their JV team victorious tonight over North Putnam in the game prior to this, 54-45. And the varsity team is trying to do the same here in just a moment. We've got the national anthem about to start. Both teams are heading back over to their respective benches. And while they do that, we'll step aside. And when we come back, we will have tip-off for what is sure to be an excellent contest between North Putnam and Covenant Christian. You're watching our webcast of this game of the week, Covenant Christian and North Putnam on Indiana SRN, where you are always in the game.
In today's fast-moving business world, effectively marketing your company takes hard work, creativity, and the right team. With over 40 years of experience, PIP has been enabling companies large and small to find success in achieving their business objectives. We understand the challenges our clients face. That's why we have a variety of print solutions suited to fit your every need. Whatever your printing request may be, from a quick turnaround on a company brochure for an upcoming trade show, a direct mail piece that needs to be designed, printed, and mailed, to complex marketing projects, PIP is sure to have the right print solution for you. Nothing grabs attention like a well-crafted sign. It can transform virtually any surface into an eye-catching experience, boosting your marketing appeal. From banners, posters, floor graphics, and window decals, to wayfinding and yard signs. We not only help with sign design and getting it installed, we also integrate them into your overall marketing strategy, designed to help you win. PIP also provides best-in-class integrated marketing solutions to help you make the most out of your next campaign. Our approach to marketing ensures that your strategy is seamlessly executed across all media, online and offline, so your business always looks its best. At PIP, we understand it takes a team to achieve business growth, and that's why we're here to help. Get to know PIP and let us make your world a better place.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Moments away from basketball here at Andrew Smith Court, Covenant Christian High School. By the way, there's going to be a shooting contest at halftime of the varsity game coming up here as an information table near the gate sponsored by Athletico is here. They got a lot of great gear out front. So, Thad, if you want to go down and relive your glory days like you talked about in the pregame, you could probably do that at halftime tonight.
I mean, I would like to do that, but in fairness to everyone else in attendance, I will not participate. I don't want to show anyone up.
That would be so entertaining. I really, and you had me fooled in the pregame. I really thought you were going to go into the layup line, and
I mean, I really thought I should have, to be honest with you. I still think I'm actually regretting that moment right now. I should have got in there. Just a couple of jumpers, that's all I need. Just a couple, just to kind of, feed the fix a little bit. You get in the gym and you just feel like you need to get some shots up.
But then again, if you go out there and you did the layup and you missed it.
Then it's
embarrassing. If we got it on camera,
Alec would have been recording, and it would have been embarrassing.
Yeah, and it would have been like that Charles Barkley moment where he had that one back down play where he missed a layup, and that just would have been that had just been all kinds of rough for you there. By the way, if you just saw the starting lineups for North Putnam that were read off a few moments ago, we'll get you those in just a second. As you see, Cameron Schurig coming out, the hero from Saturday night's game. And by the way, he is the leading scorer for Covenant Christian so far on the season, 17 points per game.
That Bethesda game that you did in game number 1, he had 21 points, nine rebounds, and 7 steals in that game.
By the way, the starting lineup for North Putnam looks like this. Chris Murray, the 6-foot senior, averaging 8 points, 2 assists. Zach Huff, 5'7" freshman, 2 points, 4 assists per game. Evan Davies, a 6'3" senior, averaging 6 points, 6 boards. James Duncan, a 5'9" senior, 6 points, 3 rebounds. And Andrew Pickle, the 6'6" senior that Thad and I talked about in the pregame, averaging 22 points and 14 rebounds a game. The head coach, Colin McCart, a record of 118 wins, 152 losses in 13 years of coaching. For Covenant Christian, Trey Flatt, Ben Bradley, Cameron Schurig, Sam Fulbright, Noah Hedrick. The head coach, Scott Flatt, in his 14th year of coaching, 137 wins to 154 losses. 2 8-15 seasons the last 2 years, but hey, you win tonight, maybe pick up another win against Cecina. You're already halfway to last year's win total as the tip is won here by North Putnam. Coming down with it, Zach Huff, and then right off the bat, a mistake by the Cougars as they turn it over. Good start for Covenant's defense, which we see a lot of pressure with.
Quick turnover there forced by Trey Flatt. He comes in behind the offensive player. You get a quick, it looks like it's going to be a double team, right off his foot out of bounds.
And Flatt's the one who brings it up. There's Schurig down low with it, trying a pump fake, nothing there. It's just a Fulbright who can't get in. And Flatt lets go of a 3 and knocks it down.
Nice job there of getting the ball into the paint. Good things happen for shooters when you get the ball into the paint.
And there's Covenant's defense that we talked about coming up big, nearly forcing a turnover, but instead it's a jump ball. And it is a turnover that they force because Covenant has the arrow.
2 possessions for North Putnam, 2 turnovers. That plays exactly into what Covenant Christian wants to do. They want to turn you over, and they want to make those turnovers turn into offense for them at the other end.
And not only that, we haven't even really seen them, put on the full court pressure yet. Like we've seen them, like I saw them do a lot in the very first game against Bethesda Christian. Schurig's calling for it in the post. They get it to him. He's up and under move, and he got it to go down. What a play by Cameron Schurig.
I like this about Cameron Schurig. He's a lot like Noah Hedrick. They can both go inside and out. That time, he posts up the smaller defender, gets the bucket.
3 missed by James Duncan. Off and running comes Covenant. Here's Flatt. Collision and a blocking foul. That's the 3 that Trey Flatt made. And, Thad, so important. I've seen when Trey Flatt had some of his biggest games last year, it's when he got going early in the game.
And it's always good to see the ball go through the net early, especially if you're a shooter like Trey Flatt.
This time the shot won't fall from Hedrick, but Flatt the rebound, and he finishes. Already a 7-0 lead for Covenant Christian, and timeout called by North Putnam. They need it. We'll take it with them here in the first quarter on Indiana SRN.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Precisely the start you want if you're Covenant Christian, off to a 7-0 lead already, and then they bring that full court pressure in the backcourt. However, a foul is committed, and I think it's going to go against Sam Fulbright.
One thing to note here as we get started and we see that full court pressure, Covenant will show you a couple different looks on that pressure. Right now it looks like they're going to go a little 1-2-2 on the trap on that first inbound. Sometimes we'll just go man-to-man pressure. Sometimes it's a little bit of a run and jump. So they'll switch it up on you and you don't know what's coming.
And, yeah, North Putnam didn't know what was coming there. Flatt gets the steal. Schurig the three, and he hits that one. So Flatt's got 5. Schurig has the other 5, and Covenant already in front 10-0, and they get a steal again. Schurig on the break, lays it in. My goodness, the Warriors on fire.
They're starting to run away early, and there's a foul on Schurig, but this is exactly what we talked about, and this is not what North Putnam wanted to have tonight. You got to take care of the basketball, especially against a team that wants to get up and down the way Covenant does.
And here's that steal that Trey Flatt got off the inbound pass, and that's just great team basketball there, off defense to offense.
And there you see Flatt with the steal. What do you want to do with the bat? You want to attack the rim. So he starts attacking the rim. What happens? Everyone converges towards him, leaves Schurig wide open on the wing, and he can knock that triple in.
By the way, this is the Kim Mountain Pest Control first quarter, a pest control pro for over 40-plus years. As North Putnam turns it over again, give them a call, 317-439-5612. That's Kim Mountain Pest Control. Already 6 turnovers for them. Wow. 6 turnovers already in the game for North Putnam. Slashing through the lane is Sam Fulbright, and the ball got stuck behind the goal. And that ends up being a jump ball. This time the arrow points North Putnam's direction. And this is another thing you're going to see with Covenant Christian. Lots of substitutions as they bring in Gus Shikamba off the bench.
They went 12 deep on Saturday night, and then like you said in that first game against Bethesda, they might have gone 13, maybe 15 guys deep.
And right away a foul's called on Shikamba. He got a little too aggressive there at half court. That's his first and the team's 3rd foul here in the first quarter.
And if I could take 1 second just to talk about Gus Shikamba. He's a guy, he started the first game, now they've moved him to the bench, and what he is for this Covenant team, he's kind of like Vinnie Johnson of the old Detroit bench. He's instant offense off the bench, and that's great production you can get when you can go to your 6th or 7th man on the bench and get points.
Davies with a bad pass. There's another steal, but then Covenant gives it right back as the teams exchange turnovers. But boy, North Putnam just doesn't look like they have anywhere to go with the basketball. 3 by Duncan, though, and finally North Putnam is on the board.
That's a big one to see go in. I know it's early, but you're down 12-0. You're having problems getting into any flow offensively, and it's good to see the ball go through the net.
Jonah Bronger also in the game as well. The ball almost got stuck on the rim again, but a foul is called on North Putnam.
I believe that's going to go on Murray.
Yep, that is. So 2 fouls on North Putnam and 3 on Covenant. Noah and Sam Fulbright to the line. He is now 3 of 6 from the line this season as he made the first. One thing I've noticed about high school basketball, really all over the country, Thad, thankfully Fulbright hits them both. Free throw shooting has been kind of a struggle, but Fulbright got them both to go down, and there is more pressure for Covenant. Leads to a steal. Here's a fall-away jumper made by Fulbright. He gets 4 quick points right off the bat. 2 free throws made, and then that shot. And Covenant just continues to pour it on North Putnam with the pressure and the points. There's Andrew Pickle up ahead to Duncan. Duncan down low finds his teammate, Evan Davies, and Davies hits the turnaround. But how about Andrew Pickle so far, Thad? The leading scorer, averaging 22 a game. He just touched the ball for the first time on that last drive and has not scored yet. And a layup made by Noah Hedrick, and already North Putnam has to spend their second timeout. 4:08 to play in the first. All Covenant Christian so far on Indiana SRN. What a start for Covenant Christian, already leading in this game 18-5, and they don't take their foot off the gas. They bring that full court pressure again, and North Putnam struggles to get it across half court, but they do. Boy, Thad, even when they do get it, they just look all sorts of uncomfortable, don't they?
They have not gotten in any sort of rhythm. It's hard for them to even get their offense set up. This is the first time we've seen them get into any sort of regular kind of set offensively.
And there's Duncan getting it to Andrew Pickle, their leading scorer, and Pickle knocks that shot down to get the deficit down to 11. And Chicumba travels.
If we can go back down to the other end, like I said, first time they got into their offense, they ran a little bit of motion, a little dribble drive, they kick it to Pickle, and it's good to for him to see that ball go through the net finally in this game, and a good time out there from Coach McCart. I know he's already used 2, but that was a good time to use 1.
Yeah, I thought both of his timeouts probably needed to happen there, and they break the full court pressure this time, and it leads to a drive and a layup knocked down by Chris Murray. So now the lead for the first time in a few minutes is under double digits. 3 by Chicumba, though. Too strong. Collision on the rebound, but Davies brings it in. He's in trouble and had his pocket picked by Graham Shelton, but I think Shelton might have fouled him. Yep, that's what they're calling here. So 4 fouls for Covenant Christian. That's the first on Shelton. There's the basket made by Andrew Pickle, and you can see why he's averaging 22 a game, Thad. He's knocked down a lot of shots like that in his career.
Yeah, and if you're 6'6" and you have the ability to stretch out the defense to 17, 18 feet, then you know you can post up. That's pretty versatile.
Again, North Putnam gets it out across half court, but it was not easy. That Covenant pressure has been their marquee go-to over the first 3 games we've seen them play. 3 open in the corner. Zach Huff, though, rattles out. Trey Flatt the rebound. Throws it up the floor. Ethan Maudlin. And it ends up in the hands of Brock Buckley, and Buckley hits the J. Lead goes back to 11. And again, we've seen a lot of different players in the game already play for Covenant Christian. Out there right now, it's Gus Chicumba, Trey Flatt, Graham Shelton, Ethan Maudlin, and Brock Buckley. That shot rolls in. But then Covenant Christian back quickly with another answer. Well, right when they start to get their offense going, Thad, North Putnam, they start trading baskets. They can't do that.
Got to tighten up on the defensive end. One thing I've seen from North Putnam, even on made baskets, they're not getting back and getting their defense set.
At that time, North Putnam takes advantage of Covenant's over-aggressiveness, and Chris Murray hits the reverse layup. And then they don't get set up again, and there's Schurig driving down the lane, missed the first time, but got his own rebound and scored. What a great start to the game for Cameron Schurig, already 9 points, and Covenant's lead is 11, but North Putnam wants to turn this game into a track meet, and it's working out like that as Murray hits another shot. Chris Murray leading the way with 6 so far for the Cougars. Both these teams 2-0, trying to get to 3-0 very early on this young boys basketball season. Chikamba floats to Shelton, Schurig posting up. Tries to get it to go down, couldn't quite get it. Coach Flatt thought he was fouled. It ends up in Chikamba's hands, though, and he draws a foul, and he'll go to the line twice.
I know Chikamba's getting ready to go to the line and with a chance to score 2 here for Covenant Christian. But if you're North Putnam, this is what you want to see on the defensive end. They finally got set up. They forced Covenant Christian to run some offense, which is not what the Warriors want to do. They want to attack, attack, attack. You got to slow them down. Try to make them play a half-court style in the half-court.
So Chikamba's averaging 11 points a game so far this year, and he drops that free throw in.
I don't even know if that's considered a shooter's roll. That was a brick that turned into something promising.
Yeah. You know, I tell you one thing, when stuff like that goes in, it's kind of an omen that things might be going your way tonight.
And then you know that if you make one, the first one that way, you know you're making the second one.
Yeah, and he got them both. By the way, Chikamba, a perfect 6 of 6 from the free throw line this year so far. North Putnam's getting better at breaking that full court pressure. Pickle got it to Davies. Davies back to Andrew Pickle, just 2 points so far for him. Duncan hands off to Aaron Pickle, Andrew's brother. Now Andrews got it, lost it, but he had his pocket picked by Schurig, who knocked it out, so it stays with North Putnam. I mean, even though they're down by 11, Thad, I think this response by the Cougars has been very important here.
Little bit of a rally here. You're in the game. It's still early. It's only the first quarter.
Andrew Pickle hits the turnaround jumper. That's the advantage of being 6'6". Gets the lead back to 9 for Covenant. Trey Flatt, wraparound pass to Schurig. Shot was too hard, but he got his own rebound. That's a rarity right there, Thad. You don't see a lot of guys follow their own shot after a miss, but that's precisely what Schurig did.
Schurig, I think, was a little bit upset that he missed that open J, and he's like, I better go get this thing and make up for it, and he did.
Fouls on James Duncan, his first. Both teams have committed 4 fouls. Down to 8 seconds. Schurig calls for a screen from Flatt, gets it, lets it fly, and does not get the roll, but still a great start to the game for Covenant Christian. That ends the Kim Mountain Pest Control first quarter with Covenant on top, 26-17 over North Putnam on Indiana SRN.
Since football is a fall sport and baseball is a spring sport, theater's in the winter, and I've always enjoyed theater. I've done theater ever since I was 4 or 5 years old. And there's constant football workouts, but everything is timed and managed well that I can do my theater, but I can also do football workouts and baseball workouts, and everything is timed and placed well in a schedule that I can do multiple things at once. You know practically everyone that goes to Covenant, so your relationship with your teammates grows tremendously, not only on the field but also in the school. Coaches here really they work with you. There's a lot of individual time with you. They care about you. They are very encouraging, and they're very proud of what you do. In a Christian high school, the number one focus isn't necessarily the sport, but it's bringing glory to a God that loves you and has given you the opportunity to do the things with your abilities that He's blessed you with. We're doing it for a greater purpose, not just to win a championship or something like that. My name is Isaac Huff, and athletics is the reason why Covenant is a fit for me.
Exciting first quarter, a lot of action for the Covenant Christian Warriors. They had 6 different players score, and they lead North Putnam 26-17. Hey, folks, if you missed this broadcast or you just want to watch it again, you can always watch it on demand. Just go to indianasrn.org. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at IndianaSRN. Thad, great start for Covenant. North Putnam, though, showing some signs of life there at the end of the first.
I think you got to feel you're not in a great mood, but you're okay only being down 9 after that first quarter. The way to start, I had them for 8 turnovers there in the first quarter.
Yep.
That final 3 minutes, they finally started breaking the press. They got a couple of layups off of it, and they got into their offense, and they finally got the ball to Andrew Pickle, and he finished with 6 points.
Yep, and he had really just started out the game in a funk. Cameron Schurig goes for the loose ball, almost got the steal, nearly picked the pocket of James Duncan, but could not. Starting nearly all of the starting 5 out there for North Putnam, except for Chris Murray. It is Zach Huff, Evan Davies, James Duncan, Andrew Pickle, and Aaron Pickle. Chris Murray's out with 2 fouls right now. There's Andrew trying to get the inbound pass, but again, there's that Covenant defense coming up with a steal, and then Hedrick fell down. Covenant fans want a foul call. They won't get it. Schurig can't get the 3 to go down, and digging the rebound out is Zach Huff. For Covenant Christian, out there on the floor for them, it is Gus Shikamba to go along with Ben Bradley. You've got Cameron Schurig, Noah Hedrick, and Jonah Bronger. And taking it in hard was James Duncan. I think he was pushed, and he was. That's the 5th foul on Covenant Christian in the half. That is on Shikamba, and that is his 2nd. So that's the first Covenant player to get in some foul trouble. There's just another terrific defensive play. Noah Hedrick takes it away and finishes with the left hand.
Nice job of using the offhand there from Noah. He is attacking the basket. He looked like he was maybe going to try to Euro step it, but finishing with the left hand, that's nice.
That was definitely impressive. And the lead is back to 11. Well, there you saw Pickle. Andrew Pickle was hounded just outside half court. And if this is on Shikamba, it's his 3rd. Yes, Gus Shikamba just picked up his 3rd foul. And he's frustrated, but he'll have to go to the bench with those 3 fouls. And coming in for him, Colin Riley, a 5'11 senior guard. We've nearly seen the entire Covenant roster play here, Thad, which isn't surprising.
They played 12 guys in the first half on Saturday.
I think they've already played that much here, and nearly only a quarter and change. Off-balance shot by Aaron Pickle won't go down. Collision on the rebound. Think it's going to be a foul on Aaron. That's on Aaron Pickle. That's his 1st and the 5th on North Putnam as a team.
Nice job there of blocking out defensively for Covenant Christian. We talked about the size advantage that Andrew Pickle had. They had 2 guys boxing him out right there, and then he wasn't able to get that. Obviously goes out of bounds off of his brother, but that was a nice job of blocking out on the defensive end.
Well, it looks like we've got, I don't know if it's an issue with the scoreboard or an issue with maybe the possession arrow isn't right. But while they do that, when they figure that out, let's give you a chance to answer the Aspen Creek Grill trivia question of the week. When was the last year of single-class basketball tournament in Indiana? If you know the answer, tweet it to IndianaSRN. And by the way, the answers are 1999, 1972, 1997, 1978. Be sure to use the hashtag on Twitter, Aspen Creek Trivia. That's Aspen Creek Trivia. Again, Indiana famous for single-class high school basketball tournament. What was the final year in which the single-class tournament took place? That is the question. And again, North Putnam just having all kinds of trouble hanging on to the basketball here. Jonah Bronger takes it in strong and gets the floater to go down. That is now the 7th different Covenant Christian Warrior to score.
Jonah Bronger driving the basketball like that. Looks like he's the running back again for the Covenant football team, going through a big hole in the offensive line.
And that time we didn't see, that was maybe a slightly unforced error as Evan Davies couldn't handle the pass. But again, the pressure of Covenant Christian has had a very big impact in this game early on, and you're seeing it here. Cameron Schurig. Oh, nice move with the reverse layup he finishes. He has been the most exciting player on the floor, no question tonight.
A little shake and bake right there from Cameron Schurig. That's like the old Tim Hardaway UTEP two-step right there.
And he nearly got another steal. Now North Putnam's got numbers, but they cannot finish. Missing the layup underneath was Huff. The putback won't go, neither will the third try. And Schurig got the rebound. And on the break they go, but a nice block by Zach Huff. And this has turned into a bit of a chaotic pace here since the end of the first quarter. Here's that shot by Bronger to go down, and he just made that look easy, didn't he, Thad?
Right into the paint. No one slid over to stop him, and he laid it right up and in.
Schurig goes to work again. Couldn't finish the first time, got his own board. Not the second time either. Andrew Pickle nearly had the rebound, but lost it. Every hustle play right now being won by Covenant Christian. Colin Riley gives it up. Now Schurig a three. Got it. Cameron Schurig, 14 points in this first half, and another timeout called by North Putnam. They had this lead, Thad, down to 9, and now it's 18.
Yeah, it's been very impressive for Covenant Christian. It's kind of what we talked about. They're going to just keep coming. They're going to just keep coming. You're going to see runs in Covenant Christian basketball games. Not only because of turnovers, like we saw, North Putnam was able to break the pressure a couple times. They got some easy buckets. They finally seemed to settle in, but then what happens? Covenant keeps coming, and they keep coming, and they keep coming. And they're going to force turnovers, and they're going to get buckets. And when you've got a guy like Cameron Schurig right now who's feeling it, and he's knocking everything down, you're in trouble right now with those turnovers.
This is the Bertner Electric second quarter. Serving you is their number one priority. Contact them, 317-773-7663. That's Bertner Electric. And again, this is a 9-0 run by Covenant Christian to start the second quarter. There's Schurig knocking down that last three, and boy, he has just been making it look easy. I really haven't been impressed, too, with his defense.
Yeah, they can do it on both ends. The versatility of this squad for Coach Flatt has been really nice. And then you talk about guys that haven't really done a ton in this game so far. You look at Trey Flatt, you look at Noah Hedrick. Those guys are going to get theirs, too, eventually.
Driving down the length of the floor, and Evan Davies couldn't get the shot to fall down, but it looks like a foul here on Covenant Christian, and it is their 7th team foul.
The other thing to think about with Covenant Christian, not just tonight but moving forward throughout the season, for NBA fans out there that are watching this game, they can kind of do like a first unit, second unit type situation like you would see in a longer 48-minute NBA game. You can keep maybe one starter or two starters in with three guys off the bench, and it doesn't slow them down at all, and it keeps those guys fresh. And when you get to the third and fourth quarter, like you saw against Bethesda, like I saw against Roncalli, wears the other team down, and they're able to just attack.
Davies just banked that second free throw in and got them both to go down. He's got 4. Those are the first 2 points of North Putnam in this period. 3 by Hedrick, who had that last foul, by the way, but he drains that one. And for Covenant Christian, that is the 4th 3 they have hit as a team in this half.
And that's what you're going to do defensively against Noah Hedrick. You're going to sag off. You'd rather him take an outside perimeter shot than drive it to the rim.
Actually, I guess his toe was on the line, so they called that last shot a 2. And this one falls in, and a foul. Good take. The foul goes against Colin Riley, and Aaron Pickle got his first points of the game there. And this is where we see big pile of substitutions coming in for Covenant Christian. There you see Aaron Pickle, just the excellent follow. He missed the shot but got his own rebound. And I think basketball purists would like to watch this game, Thad, because, hey, I've seen a lot of guys miss their shots but then follow their miss and get their own rebound. And the free throw made by Aaron Pickle. He averages 6 points a game. He's already at half that average with 3. And then Covenant turns on the Jets. Boy, Ethan Maudlin flying down the floor and hitting the jumper.
This is what we talked about too. When that ball goes through the net, it doesn't slow Covenant down. They're going to immediately take it out, and they're going to run a sideline break, and they're going to try to get a bucket.
Andrew Pickle lost it high in the air, and a steal by Graham Shelton. Then a turnover by Covenant, and North Putnam gives it right back. Zach Huff just overshot Andrew Pickle. Boy, Andrew Pickle is all out of sorts right now for North Putnam. Came into this game averaging 22 points a game in his first 2, and he only has 4 so far. Sam Fulbright with a nice jab step. Now Trey Flatt. So he almost is trying to clear everybody out. Tried to get it into Fulbright, but good anticipation there by Huff, who got the steal. Driving down Duncan, couldn't get the shot to go down, and a time. Looks like a technical foul is called on North Putnam.
I think it's going to be on Sam Fulbright for Covenant Christian.
Oh, really?
I think after the block, I think Mr. Fulbright maybe had a word real quick for Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
And a technical foul was called.
Well, I thought I saw Duncan get a little upset at the ref, but there's the free throw, and Pickle does not make it. So there you see the block, and Fulbright. I don't know. I didn't see a lot there. I mean, he might have said something under his breath or did something that maybe the official thought was taunting, but Pickle hits 1 of 2 on the technical.
And then just to note that does go down also as a personal
yes.
foul for Fulbright.
So that is his first, and that is the 9th on Covenant as a team. 5 team fouls for North Putnam. Still just under 3 minutes to play here in the first half that Covenant Christian has been dominating since the opening tap. And there's another steal. Ethan Maudlin gets it and finishes on the other end. Ethan Maudlin has 4 points, all in this second quarter.
And here comes some more of that pressure. And see, they've changed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
They've gone with a little like man-to-man run and jump pressure, and that's where they've been able to get in those passing lanes and pick the ball off.
I do like that 1-2-2 they ran earlier, but varying it up is key if you're going to press. Pickle backing his way in, and did he travel? Yes. That is just outstanding individual defense that Trey Flatt just played on Andrew Pickle.
What you think about what this defense that Covenant does and the way that they change up kind of their full court pressure, if you think about like kind of the classic Rick Pitino style teams that he had at Kentucky or at Louisville, they would show you different things. Like they would show you a 1-2-2. They would show you a 1-2-1-1. They'd go man-to-man. They'd do a run and jump. It's just all these different things, but the key to it is it's just constant pressure over and over.
Aaron Pickle thought he had a steal, but he accidentally kicked the ball. No, they're going to say he got the steal and then Flatt kicked it. So North Putnam gets it back. But see, even when they just play pressure man-to-man, even guys like Ethan Maudlin, you can see right there, the defense is outstanding. Tough shot by Evan Davies, but he got it to go down. He's got 6. He is tied for the scoring lead. Flatt falls down, and they're going to say he traveled. So Evan Davies has 6 to lead the way, and Chris Murray has 6 as well, and just lost his balance and slipped.
Could be a wet spot on the floor there. Looked like he did. He tried to launch it towards the backboard just to get rid of it, but that was after the travel.
Boy, that pass was awfully soft, and you see Brock Buckley almost got his hands on it for the steal. Pickle pass got tipped by Flatt, and he ends up getting the steal. Flatt just pulls up for a deep one, and his toe was on the line, so that is a 2. But still, nice shot by Trey Flatt. And then a steal here. It was about to be stolen back, and Flatt with a touch pass to Maudlin. And then North Putnam takes it away. Good awareness and a steal by Andrew Pickle. Pickle's pass tipped. Some of the best ball movement we've seen North Putnam have in a while, and James Duncan splashes in a right corner 3.
That was an excellent job of reversing the basketball.
And Trey Flatt just gets called with an offensive foul. So that's his first, and that is the 10th foul on Covenant Christian, but since it's an offensive foul, no free throws yet.
Offensive foul number 3, Trey Flatt, his first.
the start of this second quarter was really what started to get things going. And here's that last steal by Trey Flatt where you think he's going to pass it, and he just launches it.
Nice job of looking the defense away. Like you said, if you're in transition defense, what do? You got to go get a foot in the paint, and then you're going to close out on shooters. Well, Trey Flatt doesn't even get to the paint. He says, I'll just pull up and knock it in.
Oh, my goodness, right there for North Putnam. Evan Davies had it, and if he would have turned around, he would have seen he had a man on the other side of the floor wide open, but then he threw it backwards and ended up throwing it out of bounds. So yet another giveaway by the North Putnam offense back to Covenant Christian, who has led from the outset. They jumped out to an 18-5 lead. Really? North Putnam's been as close as 9, but then Covenant pushed it back to 18, and North Putnam's been playing behind the 8 ball. James Duncan almost comes up with a steal, but ends up knocking it out, so it stays with the Warriors. Maudlin triggers it in. Gets it to Shelton. He's open. Not that time, though. Rebound knocked to the floor, and what do we have? Looks like a whistle and a foul on Covenant. I think Ethan Maudlin reached in here. I think they're going to the other end, so that is a defensive foul going against Colin Riley. So that is his second and the 11th foul on Covenant. Well, Covenant Athletics is hosting 2 I'm Game events this season for 7th and 8th grade students during upcoming basketball games here on Andrew Smith Court at Warrior Fieldhouse. This Saturday, December 8th, Lady Warrior basketball will play Linton Stockton at 1 o'clock. Then Friday, January 11th, Warrior basketball plays Guerin Catholic at 7. Any 7th or 8th grade student is invited to attend. Wear your school's jersey or shirt and receive free admission for you and one parent. Plus, the student receives a free t-shirt, free popcorn, and 1 free drink. Questions? Email Cindy Cleary at cindycleary@covenantchristian.org. Those free throws make it a 13-point lead. Nice shot fake by Trey Flatt, and he got another one to go down. He's got 9.
I mean, you need to put that on a fundamental basketball tape. You got to these youth Warriors that are going to be coming, you got to make them watch that. Perfect shot fake from Trey Flatt. He's got his balance. It looks realistic. He comes down, 1 dribble, 1 step, knock in the 17-footer.
3, too strong from Noah Hedrick. But there's the follow and the make by Fulbright, who has 6 points. 5, not much time left for the Warriors. Tipped, Flatt got it, launches it, but it's not in time, and that would have been something if he would have made that. But a dominant first half by the Covenant Christian Warriors, who have had, between the boys and girls basketball programs, Thad, as you mentioned at the very beginning of the pregame, what a few days they have had here in this field house.
Hey, Warrior Fieldhouse is hot right now, John. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You have an unbelievably awesome conference win on Saturday night at the buzzer for the boys. What do? They carry that momentum straight over to this game tonight against North Putnam. And then let's talk about the girls last night with a massive win against Heritage Christian.
Yep.
And I'm not, hyperbole. I'm not hyping that up. Heritage Christian over the last 10 years on the girls' side of things has been one of the most dominant programs in the state of Indiana. They have moved their way up all the way to 4A because of the success factor. And then for Covenant Christian to knock them off in a conference game here in the Circle City Conference, I mean, Covenant Christian basketball is on fire. There's no other way to put it.
Their JV won tonight. Their varsity halfway to doing the exact same thing. They lead the North Putnam Cougars 47-30 on Indiana SRN, where you are always in the game. Thad, this is, and again, it's just been, from what we have seen, the quintessential Covenant Christian performance where so many people have gotten involved here, and 8 different players have scored in this game.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot in that first half, and rightfully so, about the defense that Covenant Christian's been putting on, that full court pressure, causing turnovers. By the way, they've caused 19 turnovers in the first half. That's pretty good to do defensively. The other thing we got to talk about, a lot of that offense has come off of turnovers, obviously, but their offense has been great. You talk about 8 guys in the scoring column. They're sharing the basketball. Cameron Shurig got hot, obviously, but with 8 guys scoring, you're passing the ball, you're driving, you're making shots. That's a beautiful thing if you're head coach Scott Flatt.
Lawrence Baking Company halftime show coming up next. 47-30, Covenant Christian leads North Putnam on Indiana SRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
I think of my philosophy of education, and Jan and I, as homeschooling parents, we really recognized it was our responsibility to educate our children. And so when we thought of basically delegating our children's education to someone else, we prayed about it, and we thought, would we delegate our children's education to someone who didn't believe anything close to what we believe? And we basically said, no, we can't do that. We have to entrust and delegate that role in our children's lives to someone that believes consistently with what we believe. And being able to do that at Covenant was a big step for Jan and I, because having 7 kids and really wanting to see them walk with the Lord and wanting to see them engage their faith for the rest of their life, we wanted that key time in their life to be with someone that we could trust, and that's how we came to Covenant.
Well, we also had some of our children wanted to pursue some higher degrees, Kyle in engineering and Hannah in nursing, Luke in accounting, and we felt that Covenant was a college preparatory school, and just some of the scholarships that they got, so it was definitely prepared them well.
I think the first thing, besides the effort that Covenant has to take the children through 4 years of Bible study, I think it's the way they engage them to try and apply their biblical studies to a worldview and try and take what they're reading and understanding in Scripture and then look at their life situation, the things that are going on in life, their relationships with their classmates, and then apply what they're learning. I think that's a really unique aspect to how they go about teaching them. And I think building relationships around that gives a depth to that relationship. I mean, you're talking about the thing that's most important in your life. Your faith in God, what you believe about Jesus Christ. And when you're discussing those things with people that really genuinely love you and want to see you come to the acknowledgement of the truth, I think it really adds a dynamic opportunity. Besides getting a Christ-centered education, the most important thing that we saw was the relationship development that took place between our children and the teachers.
I think all of our kids have been impacted by at least 2 teachers that they really connected with, and they really drew them out. They developed relationships. It went beyond the classroom.
And that was a real goal of the school. It wasn't just part of the curriculum. It was the heartbeat of the school was to develop relationships with the students, and some of those relationships are still intact. And quite frankly, that's the investment that you're making. You're making an investment in the opportunity for your young person to actually have time to engage a teacher and the teacher to have time to do that. I'm Dan Eganoff, and this is my wife Jan, and a Christ-centered education is the reason Covenant was a fit for us.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Moments away from starting the second half here at Andrew Smith Court, Covenant Christian High School. I'm John Herrick, joined by Thad Van Devener. Thank you for joining us on Indiana SRN, where you are always in the game. God's Word 24/7 and sports. Really, this was a game that, in terms of a recap, pretty easy one to recap. Covenant Christian came out and led very big right off the bat. They led, I believe it was 12-0 before North Putnam finally scored. They bumped that lead to 18-5. However, North Putnam had a little bit of a surge there at the end of the first quarter to make it 26-17. They cut the deficit down to 9, but then a 9-0 run by Covenant Christian to begin the second quarter, where they pushed the lead to 18 at 35-17. And really from that point, North Putnam was just trying to play catch up from there, and they trail by 17 with the third quarter about to start. Individual scoring in the game, Covenant Christian outstanding. 8 different players have scored. Cameron Schurig, who was the hero from Saturday night, hitting the game winner against Roncalli, leads the way with 14 points, 9 for Trey Flatt, 6 points each for Sam Fulbright, Noah Hedrick, 4 points each for Brock Buckley and Ethan Maudlin. Then you have 2 points for Gus Shikamba. Foul situation for Covenant. Colin Riley has 2 fouls. So does Sam Fulbright, one of those being a technical, and then 3 fouls for Gus Shikamba. For North Putnam, they were led in scoring in that first half by James Duncan, who had 8, 6 points each for Evan Davies, Chris Murray as well, who had 6. Andrew Pickle had 5, 3 for Aaron Pickle, and 2 for Zach Huff. And foul trouble, really the only guy in any major issues with fouls was Chris Murray, who has 2. And that was a bit of a problem, though, because he had a good first quarter. He scored 6, and then he picked up that second foul, and he sat most of the remainder of the first half. But the big story for North Putnam, too, Thad, they're having a hard time not turning the ball over. 19 turnovers in that first half, and their leading scorer, Andrew Pickle, who averages 22 a game, just 5 points for him right now.
Yeah, you know what happened in that first quarter, like you talked about. They got out to the big lead. Why did they do that? They had that 1-2-2 full court pressure going on. Too many turnovers for North Putnam. North Putnam gets back into the game. How do they do that? They kind of solved the riddle there for a few possessions where they broke the press. They got Murray for a couple layups at the other end. They finally kind of figured that out. So what's Coach Flatt do in this kind of chess match that's a basketball game? He switches it up.
Yep.
He goes run and jump, man-to-man, full court pressure. What's that do? North Putnam starts turning the basketball over again, leading the Covenant Christian offense.
Yeah.
So the basic thing here is, if you're North Putnam, you've broken the pressure and you've gotten some buckets. You've got to break the pressure and you've got to settle down. And that's a lot to ask for a freshman point guard and Zach Huff. But you've got to take control of that basketball. You've got to settle everyone down and get into an offensive rhythm. And you've got to try to throw that ball down to the block to Pickle.
That concludes the Lawrence Baking Company halftime show. Fresh baked donuts every day. Lawrence Baking Company, 317-897-6850. 317-897-6850. Covenant Christian is in the white on your screen. North Putnam is in blue. Pull-up jumper by Ben Bradley goes down. And also, not only have they been a terrific defensive team to start the year, Thad, but right there you can see they're also a terrific jump shooting team. And another steal. Turnover number 20 on North Putnam. It leads to a 3 by Hedrick. He can't get it to fall. Then Duncan the rebound, and he's fouled by Noah Hedrick. I think he just picked up a frustration foul there. Just mad he couldn't come up and get that rebound. So both these teams 2-0. One of them will leave tonight 3-0. And that was very close to being over and back, as some Covenant fans trying to tell the official that. Chris Murray misses a driving layup. Ball bounces around like a hot potato, and it goes out of bounds. Ball back to Covenant. Last touch by North Putnam.
The key to that play there at half court, just to kind of give the viewers a little insight, is there's 3 points to that play. You've got to have both feet and the basketball. All 3 have to be across that half court stripe before there could be any over and back, and that wasn't the case right there.
You're right, it was not. 3 made again. This time, Sam Fulbright, his first tray of the evening. Cameron Schurig has 2 of them. Trey Flatt's hit 1. And just another outstanding defensive effort leads to a steal. Schurig fouled on the way up by Chris Murray, and I believe that's on Murray, and if it is, that is his 3rd.
You talked about having a team that could really shoot the basketball. And that's nice for a coach. When you've got a team that is shooting the ball well, that's awesome. And you talk about the way they've shot it tonight against Bethesda. They were 2 of 27 from 3 in that game. Think about that. 2 of 27. And then you turn around against Roncalli, you shoot much better. Tonight they've shot the ball better than they did on Saturday. I know it's a progression throughout the season, but if you continue to shoot the ball like this, you're going to be in a lot of games. You're going to win a lot of games. Cameron
Schurig knocked both of those free throws down. He's got 16 to lead all scorers, and Covenant Christian has upped their advantage now to 24 points. Andrew Pickles got to get going here, forced to give it up to Murray. Murray staying in the game with those 3 fouls. Tries to throw it to the other corner. It got batted out. So it'll stay with North Putnam. Here's a look at the last 3-pointer that was made in the corner. This one by Sam Fulbright. Just no hesitation from that young man, was there?
There's a little bit of a late closeout there defensively on Fulbright, but again, Fulbright's kind of in that mold of Hedrick. You're going to give up a deep jumper to him rather than have him drive the ball, and a late closeout provides him that opportunity, and he cashes it in.
Murray driving into the lane, and he was hand-checked. Second foul on Covenant Christian in this half, and it goes against Noah Hedrick, but that's Noah's third. Nearly a steal there, but nice job by Evan Davies to keep it on this end of the floor. Huff to Pickle. Steps in, thought about the 3, then decided not to take it. Duncan will take it and miss. Fulbright the rebound. Covenant pushing. They've been comfortably in the driver's seat all night. Flat, open, 3-ball, right corner pocket. He got it. Trey Flat with 12 points, 2 threes in the game.
Nice job there of a skip pass by Schurig into the corner. Defense late to rotate over, and he knocks it home.
And Trey Flat almost with the steal defensively on this end as he pokes it out. Substitution for Covenant. Colin Riley checking in because Noah Hedrick will leave with those 3 fouls. Murray, lob pass to Pickle, tries to get something going, and he's fouled by Fulbright. Fulbright clapped his hands there in anger with himself, but knew it right away, so that's going to put Andrew Pickle on the line, and he is 1 of 2 at the line tonight, and 7 of 12 from there on the season.
And that
make it 7 of 13.
Sorry, John. That last possession, they finally got Pickle the ball down low on the block in the paint. I'd like to see them try to do that a little bit more. I know it's a 27-point game now. Maybe this game is out of reach, but you got to get Pickle the ball where he's more capable of scoring it. He's catching the ball too far away from the hoop.
He makes the second, splitting the pair, but still a hefty advantage for Covenant Christian, 57-31. Trey Flat this time out of the left corner. Couldn't get it, but got his own board. Nice pass to Riley, who's all by himself. And Flat another rebound. And that's a good sign for Covenant. Looks like it's staying on this end of the floor. It's a foul on North Putnam. That one against Evan Davies. That is his first. And the second on the Cougars in this half. Flat will inbound it for the Warriors. He gets it into Riley. Boy, he's feeling it now. He gets fouled and one. He's got a chance for a 4-point play.
One thing I really like about Trey Flat as a player, the kid is super aggressive, John.
Yep.
You saw it after that missed shot. He goes flying in there for the rebound. He's got no regard. He's going to go in there. He's going to get that basketball. Then what happens? You come off the screen, a nice little inbound play. You get a down screen. He comes right off on the wing and then knocks it home. He's just aggressive. You got to like that in a player.
And that foul's on James Duncan, and he is getting a talking to from his head coach, Colin McCart, after committing that foul. So there you see he came over, and yeah, he didn't foul him initially, but got him on the body just enough. And Flat makes the free throw, and Covenant Christian is calling a 30-second timeout here. 61-31, they lead with 4:57 to go in the third quarter. Man, Thad, crazy to think that at the end of the first quarter, North Putnam was making a run and had this at a 9-point game, and now it's 30.
Yeah, like we talked about, they had kind of solved the riddle of that 1-2-2. They got some layups. It looked like they were finally going to settle down and get into the game, and then Covenant Christian just keeps coming at you. They switched their defense up. They switched it up again here to start the second half. They're just keeping them off their toes and out of rhythm, and there's just nothing right now that the Cougars can do about it.
This third quarter brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. 317-472-7600. That's the Morales Group, 317-472-7600. North Putnam has the ball. Chris Murray to inbound. Flat just came up and almost got a steal, and he almost got a steal again, but not quite. Does he ever get? He just never takes his foot off the gas. That time he does get it. He forces the steal there. He's open again in the left corner and hits once more.
Yeah, he wanted that three. You could see it. There was a fast break opportunity. He stays behind the arc. He says, I need another three. Give me the ball, and he knocks it in.
And then he gets a steal off the inbound but accidentally steps on the line. 64-31 with 4:28 to play in the third quarter. Don't forget, folks, you have a chance to win a great prize by answering our Aspen Creek Grill trivia question. Historically, when was the last year of single-class basketball tournament in Indiana? 1999, 1972, 1997, 1978. Thanks to Aspen Creek Grill in Noblesville for sponsoring high school sports on Indiana SRN. And be sure you can tweet that answer to us at Indiana SRN. Use the hashtag Aspen Creek Trivia. Again, the hashtag Aspen Creek Trivia. The winner will receive a $25 gift card to Aspen Creek Grill in Noblesville, and they'll be notified by our SRN sports team this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, bonus points if you answer that question and you give us Mr. Basketball of all 4 of those years without Googling. No Google machine.
Three made by Sam Fulbright. This is just turning into an onslaught, Thad.
That's 5 threes in this quarter. 3 of them by Flat, 2 of them by Fulbright.
Pickle tries to answer the other way, and he does. Aaron Pickle, who has just as many points as his brother Andrew. They both have 6, and the lead is 33. What a spin move by Schurig. It would have been a heck of a play if he finished it, but could not. Chris Murray runs into a wall, but finds the open man. That's Aaron Pickle, but he left it short. And Colin Riley, the rebound. Schurig feeds Riley on the break, who gets it to Fulbright. Fulbright, offensive foul.
And that was the right call down there.
Yeah.
The defender was set, plenty of room, and he just rambled right into him.
And there you see the last made three by Aaron Pickle, a basket that the Cougars badly needed. And I think that's the third three they've made tonight. James Duncan has made the other 2. He leads them in scoring with 8 points. And now more substitutions coming in for Covenant Christian. You've got out there now Graham Shelton, Gus Shikamba to go along with Ethan Maudlin. And there's another bad pass, which leads to a Shikamba steal, lays it up, and I think he's called for an offensive foul. Got to be frustrating if you're Gus. He picks up his 4th foul right after he comes back in the game with 3.
I think he was in the contest for 4 seconds there and picked up his 4th foul.
After getting a steal. So North Putnam has only scored 4 points, and they force another turnover. I mean, it's Colin McCart, the North Putnam coach, beside himself, and he has to take another timeout. This is a full one, and with 3:33 to go, it is all Covenant Christian right now. And we will step aside here on Indiana SRN.
Word. Go.
Well, so far in this third quarter, Covenant Christian has outscored North Putnam 20-4. I'm John Herrick along with Thad Van Devener. Great to have you with us and all the great folks on Indiana SRN. Don't forget you can watch this one after it's over if you miss it or you just want to watch it again. Just go to indianasrn.org. You can watch the game on demand. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Indiana SRN. Gus Shikamba receives the inbound. I think North Putnam didn't realize they turned it over before that last timeout. Flat, driving, not much there, so he kicks it back out. Shikamba runs into a wall, and I think there's got to be a foul of some kind on North Putnam. He could have called it on multiple people.
Yeah, and it looks like Gus is being very aggressive right now. I think he's fed up with being in foul trouble. He spent too much time on the bench. Every time, or the couple of times he's caught the ball here in the third quarter, he's really attacking the paint.
That was on John Huffman, his first, and the fourth foul on North Putnam here in the second half. Behind the back dribble by Maudlin. Going to work, Buckley couldn't get it to go down. Rebound knocked out of there, and coming out with it was Huffman, but then ball is loose on the ground, jump ball, and that's going to stay with North Putnam. They have the arrow. But still, just getting it across half court for the Cougars has been an adventure all night.
It's a struggle for them, and there's no doubt about that. And I know that we're still in the third quarter. This game with a pretty wide distance in it. I think if you're Coach McCart, you're already kind of thinking about, hey, you know, how do we regroup after this? We've got a couple of big games coming up this weekend. As I mentioned, it's a three-game week for them, but you've got Sullivan coming up on Friday. The Golden Arrows, a conference opponent in the WIC with them. And then you've got Park Heritage as well, which is another road game for them. You've got to think about, hey, you know, they might take it easy tomorrow at practice. You know, you would think, you know, he's really gonna be hard on them. They're gonna run too many turnovers. I think it might be the opposite with this team. I think you take it easy on them tomorrow. You try to wipe the slate clean, and let's say, hey, let's just restart on Friday against Sullivan.
And Gus Shikamba just picked up his fifth foul. And he is not happy. And he was given an explanation as to why it was his fifth, but didn't like it. So he is replaced by Colin Riley.
I don't keep track of minutes, John, in a game. I think Gus maybe played less than 5 minutes in tonight's contest.
Chris Murray to the free throw line, makes the first of two. Well, I played basketball with a kid in 8th grade who fouled out of a game in 3 minutes. So, and it was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, and every foul was legitimate. I think thought he was playing rugby or something. Pull-up jumper from the right elbow won't go down from Ethan Maudlin, but he went down because he was fouled. And if that's on Chris Murray, who I think it is, that is his fourth, and it is. So Chris Murray has 7 points, but now 4 fouls. And Ethan Maudlin, who has 4 points, both of those baskets he made came in the second quarter. He converts that, but this is an unreal start to the third quarter here. I mean, yeah, you were down 17 at the half if you're North Putnam, but you get outscored 20-4 before the first time out of the half. These are a battle of two 2-0 teams. I had a feeling Covenant Christian had the slight edge, but my goodness, I don't think anybody saw this coming. This has been total domination from minute one, except for maybe a brief moment in the first quarter where North Putnam started to come back, and again, Duncan got it across and then turned it over.
Well, we talked about this too in the pregame, John. They wanted to do a little bit of different styles. You know, North Putnam kind of wants to control the ball, a little bit more methodical on the offensive end. For Covenant Christian, we talk about go, go, go. Covenant Christian came in tonight averaging 69 points in their first 2 games. They have 69 points right now with 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
In the corner with it was Riley. He tried to get it out to the wing to Jonah Bronger, and Bronger was smoked. That is on James Duncan. That's his third. Graham Shelton receives the inbound pass. I know the Shelton boys have quite a following. Their family devout listeners or viewers to every game on Indiana SRN. Ethan Maudlin hits the free throw line jumper. They're just making it look easy on every end. Duncan's really been the lone spark. He takes it in and misses the layup. Rebound, though, by Pickle. Tried to get it back to Duncan. He does. Duncan has to wheel it back out. Pickle a three this time. And Aaron Pickle, the younger of the two Pickle brothers, is now outscoring his older brother, Andrew. Maudlin fouled, or Buckley rather, fouled from behind. And that will send Buckley to the free throw line where he's just 2 of 3 on the season. As you see here is the three that was taken, that two that was knocked down by Maudlin. Just nice job of creating off the dribble, wasn't it?
Yeah, nice job tonight. It is indicative in that replay, too. The spacing on the offensive end of the floor that Covenant has had. It opens up those driving lanes, and it opens up those kickouts when someone gets into the paint. The Warriors have done a great job of that.
Buckley makes them both, and it's 73-38 Covenant Christian. Trey Flatt, who had struggled from shooting the ball, the coach's son, really with a big night here. And that time Andrew Pickle got a fortuitous bounce on a steal and laid it in. He's got 8. A minute to go now in the third. Maudlin stripped from behind. That's a steal for Andrew Pickle. He almost gave it right back. But North Putnam's able to get it across. Duncan on the drive, had it stripped. There's a steal by Colin Riley. Colin pushing. Bouncing it to Bronger. Bronger harassed by Pickle, nearly threw it away, but it's dug out of there by Maudlin. To the top of the key, Buckley for 3, and Brock Buckley, his first triple of the night, he's got 9. And Covenant doesn't get back in time defensively, and Evan Davies finishes on the other end.
That was a good description, John. Buckley makes a big 3, and it's hard to imagine you can't get back down the floor after a made 3, but that's exactly what happened.
Sometimes you're celebrating too much and forget. Maudlin with not an easy shot again, but it falls through.
Maudlin's got that mid-range game working tonight.
Here's a 3 by Pickle, short, and that concludes the Morales Group third quarter. The Morales Group building better futures one story at a time. 317-472-7600. After 3, all Covenant Christian as they lead North Putnam 78-42 on Indiana SRN.
From the moment that I met Reed as a sophomore, I learned a lot about him, the reason why he wanted to come to Covenant, the initiative that he took to come here. He cares about other people and cares about relationships, cares about his academic work. So just that opportunity to really get to know him on a personal level and talk to him about things that are not school related is a really cool opportunity.
It really makes school more enjoyable, to be honest. You have someone to come to school and you want to listen to this person teach. Then when I came here, I wake up and I don't even think about school. I just think it's like another day, I enjoy it here. I enjoy all the teachers because you have a relationship with everyone. Everyone knows each other. It's like a small little community. It's nice.
Here at Covenant, everybody stresses the relational aspect of the school. So you do really get to know each student individually. Whereas, if you're at a big school and you've got 40 kids in a classroom, it's really hard to get to know everybody at a really personal level. As a student, you will find a teacher or two that you will really connect with at a one-on-one level.
Hi, my name is Reed Replogle.
My name is Chris Stevenson.
And the teacher-student mentorship is the reason why Covenant is a fit for me.
About to start the fourth quarter here of a game that has been dominated by Covenant Christian. Our fourth quarter sponsored by McIntyre Imaging. Take pictures of everything at McIntyre Imaging. Call them 317-997-9570. 317-997-9570. McIntyre Imaging. 3 at the top of the key by Hedrick, won't go, but Trey Flatt's there to get the offensive rebound for Covenant Christian, and now he lets this 3 fly, but it won't go down. He's got 19 points. And now North Putnam tries to get something going here. Probably in too deep of a hole for this one to come out on the winning side. They got outscored 31-12 in that third quarter. And missed here by Pickle. Leads to a fast break. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Sam Fulbright with a nice drive and a layup. He's got 14 and a chance to get 15. That's the eighth foul on North Putnam, and that is against Zach Huff. That is his second. Or actually, correction, that was Noah Hedrick who laid that in. So Hedrick actually has 8 with a chance to get 9, and he does. 81-42.
And John, I think if you're Coach McCart, in between quarters here when you're talking to your team, I think one thing that you probably talk to your team about this fourth quarter. We talked about maybe resetting before that Sullivan game on Friday. I think you start that in this fourth quarter.
Do.
Hey, guys, let's just try to win this quarter. Let's win this quarter. Let's get some positive momentum going into the rest of the week.
Big thanks to all of our great crew here on Indiana SRN tonight. Behind the scenes on the cameras, Alex Stevens, Riley Thomason, Jerry Collins. Here's the 3 from the left corner. Won't go down by Hedrick, but there's the follow by Ben Bradley. Scoring balance is important, and Covenant has had it again tonight. Aaron Pickle, a 3 out of the left wing, won't go down. Rebound flat, nearly had it stolen away, but got it back. He tries another one. This would have been a 2, but his toe was on the line. The shot was way short, and Covenant unable to save it as Fulbright stepped on the line. And now more substitutions here for North Putnam. They bring in Aaron and John Huffman off the bench. They bring out Aaron Pickle and James Duncan. But again, the big story on the defensive side for Covenant Christian, Andrew Pickle, the leading scorer for North Putnam with 22 a game, just 8 points, and he couldn't get that shot to fall down because Sam Fulbright fouled him, and I think that is his 5th. At least that's what I have him as. No, 4th, okay. All right. Well,
I had that as number 5
I thought I did too, but I guess not.
I'll blame it on you.
Okay, that'll work. Pickle's free throw is short. That's been another part of his game too tonight that's been off. He's 2 of 5 from the free throw line.
Yeah, it's just not Andrew Pickle's night. Like I talked about, you reset. All right, let's see if you're Andrew Pickle. Let's get a couple of buckets here in this fourth quarter. Let's forget about the rest of the game. I need a big game from him on Friday if I'm Coach McCart.
But he missed the second. Hedrick the rebound. And back the other way. Fulbright had a couple of cracks at it, couldn't get it to go down. Pickle blocked it, and then Schurig was able to get the loose ball out of there, throw it out to Bradley, who couldn't get the 3 down, and then bodies everywhere on the rebound, and I think they say it was kicked by North Putnam. That's why it's going to stay with Covenant Christian. But right now, Covenant's goal is that they want to score 100 points.
Yeah, 17 points away with 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go. And in a high school game, think about how short of a time frame you have.
Yeah.
All right, you're watching an NBA game, they hit 100. They got 48 minutes to do that.
And they have a 24-second shot clock.
You don't have that here.
You don't have that in high school.
To hang triple digits in a high school game, you're really making a lot of shots.
Also, Covenant Christian plays Cecina in their next game, and I know the coach Keith Myers and I did Covenant's game against Cecina last year. That was a game where Cecina hung over 90 points on Covenant, but the way Covenant has been playing defense this year, I don't think anybody's going to score that many points against them.
Yeah, and look, I said this early in this game. I've been watching Coach Flatt Covenant Christian games for 5 years now, and this team, this unit he's got, is the best defensive team I've seen him have in 5 years.
Nice pass there leads to a bucket from Bryce Smith, a 6'3 senior who just got into the game for the first time. Down to 5 minutes to play. Flatt looked like he had the ball knocked out of his hands, but he was able to get the ball out of there, and leads to a 3 from Ben Bradley, which won't go down, but the follow does by Sam Fulbright. Now he's got 14, and it's 85-44 Covenant Christian this fourth quarter. Sponsored by McIntyre Imaging. You take pictures of everything. In the left corner, Aaron Huffman acted like he was going to pass. Now he does pass this time to Evan Davies, who was way off on that shot. Schurig turns on the speed and scores. Cameron Schurig with 18 points And Covenant calls just a timeout here for substitution reasons, as their lead is now 43 points. By the way, don't forget, you never have to miss an upcoming game on Indiana SRN. All you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Indiana SRN. You can see us on the web, watch any game from our webcast on demand, indianasrn.org. Follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN and on Facebook at Indiana SRN as well. Thad, we got a lot of big games coming up too on Indiana SRN, don't we?
We have a ton of big games, and we talked about it. We're going to talk about it here in a minute again. A couple of huge games coming up. Friday night, one of note. You've got Southport at Bloomington South. Former Southport head coach Kyle Simpson has gone back to his roots. He's back at Bloomington South as an assistant coach for J.R. Holmes, so that's a huge matchup on Friday night here on Indiana SRN. Also on Saturday afternoon on Indiana SRN, the Linton Stockton Lady Miners are here at Warrior Fieldhouse to take on Covenant Christian in what is a huge 2A girls matchup.
Brock Buckley got the three to rattle out, then back down. So, okay, Covenant has less than 4 minutes now to get to the century mark. With the way they've been playing tonight, they might be able to do it.
You mentioned the upcoming Cecina matchup. The Crusaders a little bit different this year under a new head coach. Head coach Rob New has stepped away from the program. And Manuel Brown, one of their stars from the semi-state run last year, is transferred. He's over at Warren Central now. So really a new look for Cecina this season. And as you talked about, and we talked about, Covenant Christian, you win tonight, you go to 3-0. You've got Cecina on the docket next with an opportunity to go 4-0. And they could go 4-0 on their way to road, and then they've got back-to-back road games. They go at Greenwood Christian and then at Brebeuf with their next Circle City Conference showdown.
And then they play Traders Point 3 days after Christmas. Saw them earlier this year. Layup made by Brock Buckley. He's got 14. 92-44. What a performance Covenant Christian has put on. They scored 26 in the first quarter, 21 in the second, 31 in the third, and already they have 14 here in the fourth. And they have never trailed. And really you kind of got a feeling the way this game was going to go from the very beginning when Covenant got off to a 12-0 advantage. And what started it? Well, what's been starting it in their other two games? The full court pressure on defense. And they started it with that, and that has been a big reason why they have put North Putnam behind the 8 ball all night. John Huffman got fouled. He goes to the line. Foul was on Colin Riley, his third.
I want to remind everyone, John, you're mentioning the webcast. Obviously, go to our YouTube page or the page on indianasrn.org. Our next webcast game will actually be Friday, December 14th. That's going to be Guerin Catholic against Heritage Christian in another Circle City Conference game, and a big game for Heritage and Guerin in that one next week.
John Huffman made one and missed one. Well, actually, I was going to say, I thought he made them. Never mind. I was confused there. I got wrapped up in your schedule there, Thad. There you go. Now, well, there you see, he made one and missed one anyway.
You had
Everybody thought that he only had one free throw.
You had it.
I think we're whoa, that was quite a pass there.
And
into the second row of seats.
And a nice catch there by that. He was ready. He was ready to catch and shoot.
Yep.
He was ready. Had his hands ready to go.
Well, let me tell you, if you are a sports fan of any kind, you got to be ready and you got to be aware of your surroundings.
It's
especially if you're baseball.
It's like when you go to a baseball game.
Foul balls hit your way.
Yeah, you got to be ready. You got to take your glove.
Well, in basketball, a ball could be thrown into the area where you're sitting, or a player may come flying over the end. And there's just another example of the excellent ball movement there by Covenant Christian. Luke Shelton, the 6'3 sophomore, in the game for the first time. He gets in the scoring column with a layup.
And let's compliment Bo Cleary on that nice little drop bounce pass to him, and Shelton right in stride, and he lays it up and in.
It's Graham and Luke Shelton out there for Covenant. Bo Cleary in for the first time.
I like that. I didn't even think about it. You got Bo and Luke right there.
Yep, you do. And a rejection by Graham Shelton. Return that to sender. Holy cow.
Reward him with a bucket.
Yeah, here is, and now Covenant looks like they want to slow it up. Now a three was an air ball there by Graham Shelton, but a rebound by Luke, so new crack at it. And this time, Bo Cleary drove down the lane and had it blocked. Boy, the Covenant bench was about to go nuts, you could tell, if Shelton would have made that three. This has been an impressive performance, and you know North Putnam's better than this, but they just were not ready for this pressure defense. Brock Buckley with a steal. Layup won't go down. Fight for the rebound. Won by North Putnam's Bryce Smith. But did he step on the line? Yes, he did. Stepped out of bounds. So Covenant keeps it with 54 seconds left. Stay tuned. Got a great post-game show coming up. Sponsored by Aspen Creek Grill. We'll also award our Shin Technology 6-Man Award and also our Auto Express Impact Player of the Game as Graham Shelton gets his first bucket, making it 96-45. And Thad Van Deventer will have a visit with head coach Trey Flatt, who I'm sure will be elated after tonight's performance. And Aaron Huffman was fouled on a reach-in. Looks like that is on Brock Buckley, his first, and that is the 9th on Covenant Christian.
I'll take this opportunity here to get everyone caught up on what's coming up here on Indiana SRN. Tomorrow night on Thursday, Greenwood Christian at Edinburgh for a girls' tilt, and Covenant Christian and Cathedral, another big matchup for the Warriors. And then on Friday night, you've got Heritage and Chittard in the girls' game, followed by the boys, a little doubleheader. Traders Point in North Vermilion over at TPCA. Park Tudor in Beech Grove, Southport at Bloomington South, and then on Saturday, as I mentioned, at a girls' game, Linton, Stockton, and Covenant here in the afternoon, and then in the evening, a boys' matchup with Greenwood Christian and Lutheran.
Don't forget, Covenant Athletics is hosting 2 IM game events this season for 7th and 8th grade students during upcoming basketball games here on Andrew Smith Court at Warrior Fieldhouse, and Warrior Fieldhouse has been the place to be as the Warriors pick up another victory. This one probably their most impressive victory of the season so far on this young season as they improve to 3-0 with a dominant 51-point victory over the North Putnam Cougars, 96-45. And Thad, the way this team comes together just continues to impress.
Yeah, and we talked about their offense a lot. We talked about their defense a lot tonight. How about this for defense? They allowed only 3 points in that fourth quarter, John. They only allowed 15 points the entire second half tonight for North Putnam.
Yep, and they outscored them 31-12 in the third quarter, which is absolutely incredible. And tallying up the stats here, numerous players have scored for Covenant Christian, and Trey Flatt led the way with 19. You had Cameron Schurig, who had 18, 14 each for Brock Buckley and Sam Fulbright, and just all kinds of great performances tonight by Covenant Christian, both individually and as a team. And Thad Van Deventer is going to go down and have an interview shortly here with Trey Flatt, the head coach of Covenant Christian. By the way, I mentioned those 2 IM game events this season for Covenant Athletics. This Saturday, December 8th, Lady Warrior basketball playing Linton Stockton at 1 o'clock. Also on January 11th, they're playing Guerin Catholic at 7. Any 7th or 8th grade student is invited to attend. Wear your school's jersey or shirt. Receive free admission for you and a parent, plus the student gets a free t-shirt, free popcorn, and a free drink. For questions, email Cindy Cleary at cindycleary@covenantchristian.org. And Thad Van Deventer standing by with head coach Trey Flatt of Covenant Christian. Thad, go ahead.
Here with head coach Scott Flatt of Covenant Christian. And coach, tonight, big-time victory for you guys, not only margin-wise, but I thought you guys played a pretty complete game, forcing a lot of turnovers. And like we saw on Saturday, you guys turned that defense into offense.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be our calling card. We've got to score with defense. We got to put pressure on the other team, and to get 27 turnovers against a Roncalli, we wanted to do the same thing with North Putt tonight. It just didn't feel like they were very deep, very strong handling the basketball, and the boys did a good job. We did a much better job tonight of not fouling and putting them at the free throw line. So we're getting better. That's the thing. It's a young group, juniors and sophomores, that are just improving every day.
One thing that stood out to me tonight as well, we saw it in the first game against Bethesda Christian. You guys didn't shoot the ball very well. It was better against Roncalli. Tonight you guys spread the ball around. You had good spacing, and you guys made a lot of shots tonight.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an aberration against Bethesda. We're typically a good shooting team, but it was good for us to learn from that game and go, guys, we can't settle for threes. And they've done a much better job of attacking the rim, finding the open ones on the outside. I love the way this group shares the ball.
One thing I thought was pretty key early in the game, you guys kind of went with a little 1-2-2 full court pressure to start the game. North Putnam kind of figured out that riddle there, got a couple of layups, and you guys switched it up. You went a little bit more man-to-man, maybe run and jump. I'm not sure what you guys switched it to, and I thought that was pretty key.
Yeah, they did a nice job adjusting, putting a guy in the middle, adjusting to our rotations. And, so we've got a number of presses that we utilize, so we changed up the press that we were using, and that helps. That helped. And the boys did a great job of adjusting.
All right, I know you probably haven't looked ahead yet, but you're 3-0. We talked about it on the broadcast. You have back-to-back 8-15 seasons. You're 3-0 now. You've got Cecina coming up in a few days. Where's your mindset now? You know, you guys seem to have a lot of momentum on your side.
Yeah, I think that Roncalli game was really big in terms of building confidence with our boys, and I'm excited about this group. I mean, they're a good young group. Like I said, they're getting better every day in practice. They're really buying into let's try and get 1% better each day. And, I had a chance to watch Cecina last night, so we'll start. I'll take a look at the film again on them tonight and put together a game plan, and we'll work to prepare for them. Certainly it's hard not to look ahead to Brebeuf coming up, but we got to take care of we got to begin with Cecina on Saturday. We're trying to keep that one game at a time approach. As a coach, it's hard not to peek ahead at a team like Brebeuf that's so talented.
Especially a conference foe.
Absolutely. With that win over Roncalli, it gives us a great opportunity within our conference. So absolutely.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win tonight.
Thanks. Hopefully we can keep it rolling.
That's head coach Scott Flatt for Covenant Christian. I'll send it back up to you, John.
All right, thanks a lot, Thad. See you in just a moment. What a win by the Covenant Christian Warriors. Thank you so much to Scott Flatt. His team, 96-45. They beat the North Putnam Cougars. What a win for them as they improve to 3-0. And we'll go ahead and take a brief time out here. When we come back, we'll tell you who our Shin Technology sixth man of the game is, also who our Auto Express Impact Player of the game is as well, and give you the final stats. You're watching Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. Well, let's put a wrap on this one, folks. A dominant performance by Covenant Christian as they beat North Putnam 96-45. It is the Aspen Creek Grill postgame show. Make from scratch comfort fresh food. Aspen Creek Grill, 317-559-3300, 317-559-3300. We'll name our Shin Technology sixth man of the game award. Technology is about humans, not about machines. Shin Technology, 317-545-3650. Our Shin Technology sixth man of the game, Ethan Maudlin, coming in off the bench for Covenant Christian. He had 10 points, so he wasn't a starter, but he came in and had a great game tonight off the bench, coming in and scoring some big buckets there late, and got 10 points off the bench. Then the Auto Express Impact Player of the game, that is Trey Flatt. Trey led the way in scoring tonight for Covenant Christian with 19 points. Came into tonight a little bit struggling on the offensive side of the basketball, but boy, did he go off tonight. Hitting 3 threes in the third quarter, 4 threes for the game, and finished with 19 points. Here's a look at one of them that he hit earlier in the contest. Auto Express, your car is more than a job, it's our passion at Auto Express. 317-897-1438. Trey Flatt, your Auto Express Impact Player of the game. In a losing effort, North Putnam was led by Aaron Pickle, who had 9. Then they had Andrew Pickle and James Duncan along with Evan Davies, 3 guys with 8 points. But Thad, your final thoughts about a dominant Covenant Christian performance here tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of what Coach Flatt said. He said he had Ron Kiley for 27 turnovers in that game on Saturday. I had North Putnam for 30 turnovers tonight.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest key to this game, and I don't want to just put that in the light that it's a negative for North Putnam or for Ron Kiley. I think it's a positive for Covenant Christian and their defense. I think their pressure that they can put on you is a big key, and like we talked about and like Coach Flatt said, when they start shooting the ball like the way that they are capable of and they're forcing those turnovers, I think they're going to be a tough team to beat. And I don't want to look too far ahead. You can talk about sectional 44. That's a long way away. A lot of things can change and happen in a season, but man, they look strong right now, the Covenant Christian Warriors.
And they are 3-0. North Putnam 2-1. Don't forget, folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Indiana SRN if you want to watch this game again or watch any of our previous broadcasts on demand, or go to indianasrn.org and be sure to follow us on Twitter and on Facebook at Indiana SRN. For Riley Thomason, Alex Stevens, Jerry Collins, and my partner Thad Van Devener, and all the fine folks who help make this broadcast possible, I am John Herrick saying so long from Andrew Smith Court at Covenant Christian High School, where the Covenant Christian Warriors dominate the North Putnam Cougars 96-45. You've been watching Indiana SRN, where you are always in the game.